All right, property tour number 4, I believe. I'll figure that out later, I guess. Might be 3, who knows. All right, so driveway. As you can see, it's a little better. You can drive around it. I've brought up the dirt quite a bit. So, as you see, I'm on it. We've used it lots and lots of times. Got some trees that are not growing very well. Don't need you putting your stick right in the middle of the camera. I got another tree here. Dogwood's not really growing that well. I think it's just the soil, because this is really sandy clay soil that I ripped up from the bottom of the property in here. And so, as my last video described, it's pretty deep. This is about 10 foot in here. Back in the back over there, it's about 15 feet. Rain's done quite a bit of job filling it up. Filling it up's all well and good, but the top 2 or 3 feet is like sandy, so it doesn't hold water the top bit. The bottom does quite well. Does not go down at all. But in the last 3 weeks, it's dropped about 6 to 8 inches. If I zoom in, you can probably, yeah, you can see the line there where the water level was. So, yeah, driveway, I got it going around. We're going to wipe out Caledon's clubhouse, which is right here. But my persimmon trees have got a bunch of new growth on them. They're nice and bright green. My American red bud is coming in nicely here. Most of the other ones in this front area are not doing anything. They're all just kind of died. But I guess this is what happens when you plant in the fall with nearly dead trees to start with. So, but I've got a couple of good apple trees. Got a yellow delicious apple here. It's got its new spring buds come in. See, got some new growth, new leaves, doing well. Got another one here. Looks kind of like a stick from that angle. But as you can also see, I now have a yard. See, I've got nice green grass. Took a while to do that. Over there, I've got a beach plum that I think is dead. Here, I've got some elderberry that is reviving. You see here, it's got some semi-new growth here. The rest of it kind of wilted and died when I transplanted it. But this one is doing fantastic. Got a blueberry tree here. Half of it died. The other half is coming back to life. That's coming back to life. This is good and dead. It may still survive. Who knows? I've also now got a tangerine tree. Grew it from a little smaller than it is now, and it's thriving. Good job, tree. Hey, Grendel, come here. Come stand next to our tangerine tree so we can see how big it is. This is my daughter. She's 39 inches tall. That's how big my tangerine tree is. All right. My son decided late in the winter he wanted to transplant his aloe vera, and it is doing absolutely fantastic. You see how tall this is. Looks almost like agave at this point. That's a pretty big aloe vera. Thriving magnificently. We got our coconut palm here. Also doing quite well. See the height of that. Wonderful thing. My banana trees, which were planted in the winter time, were all just about mush by the time spring came along, are coming back.
Wait,
Please don't step on them.
what are you looking at?
I'm looking at all of them. So I got a little sago palm bud over here somewhere that's trying to come alive. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 banana trees and 2 fan palms. My fan palms are looking pretty pathetic, but I've got pretty good faith they'll come back. My shed in the same dilapidated shape it's always been, only it's got a couple little boards on it. Now it's just to keep rain from destroying everything I've got sitting on it. I think I may disassemble it and turn it into use that material for a cabin in the back of the property. As you can see, this is cleared a little better. It's a little smoother. I've got some grassy growth coming in. And so that's the front of the property. Oh, I forgot about my little baby. I'm looking forward to a lot coming up. This one's absolutely tiny, but I think it's going to do wonderful things. It's a mulberry tree. It's an ever-bearing mulberry tree. So even in winter, this thing, as long as it's warm enough to produce, it'll produce. It doesn't have necessarily a season. So, and now I'm going to take it to the back of the property and show you my other trees that are planted back there for future growth that I will never be old enough to see. Okay, so property. Here's my four-wheeler trail. Actually, this is going to probably be a pretty good walk, so I'll just pause this. And it's kind of got some work needs to be done to it. But I'll let you know whenever we get to the back. It's about a 5-10 minute walk, so see you in a moment. All right, I'm now ending the four-wheeler trail, entering the camping trail. It's going to be my parking lot for the four-wheelers because I don't want them going all the way to my campsite. Kind of ruins the natural feel of the whole thing. My campsite's out here. It's already got some tents and stuff set up. I kind of just keep it set up all the time. That way I can just pop out here anytime I want and take a nap. Because I do love it. I think it's the first time a video tour's ever seen this. Hopefully that was the wind that did that, threw my tent down this hill. But it's a very nice hill. Nice deep ravine here. I love it. But and so here's my little campsite. Humble, but I like it. Air mattresses in there and sleeping bags and all the good stuff. My sitting logs, fire pit, you know. Anyway. Very nice, peaceful, pretty. This is my favorite part of my property. The front's just kind of a necessity for a house. So, got a bunch of natural growth out here, but I've got some planted trees. Let's show you those. I don't know how much y'all know about wild plants, or not wild plants, I don't know what that was kind of a dumb comment, but anyway, this is a camphor tree. I'm looking forward to this bad boy getting big. It's gonna be very nice. You use camphor for all kinds of things, breathing treatments, the annoyance of people who are bored on my creek. So give me a moment, I'll pause the video until the noise goes away. Okay, so for the most part, the noise has gone away. This one here, I believe, yeah, this is another camphor tree. This one doesn't seem to be doing as healthy as the other one. But you see it's kind of yellow instead of green. Got some more trees over here. This one will probably not survive due to deer and rabbits. It started growing nicely, and it's been predominantly picked clean of all of its leaves. That's the problem with beech, is it's hard for them to get past youth because their leaves are so delicious, apparently. They're young saplings, the leaves of the young saplings, the trees, everything. Very good for them until they get a little older, then the deer will begin to leave them alone. Elsewhere over there, I've got another beech tree. I believe this side is my American beech. Ah, there it is over there. Let's see how it's doing. Yeah, just as the same as this one. Been picked clean of all of its young growth. This is it here. It's not doing so hot. So, much such is life in the forest. Animals will be animals and trees will be trees, I suppose. Now here's my creek down there at the bottom. For those of you who don't know, this is Bluff Creek down here. I've got 387 feet of Bluff Creek. Back down there, we'll show you another view from the other side of the ravine. So, down the ravine we go. First up and down a few hills. Let's see. Oh, my bamboo is sagging down with so much growth. Problem with this puny bamboo, it's got no strength to stand up. Gets a couple leaves and wants to fall down. All right. And up the other side. I do love these little ravines, and it's nice. So, up the hill to my white oak. Here's my beauty. I can't wait for this bad boy to get bigger. We're gonna make some great acorn flour out of it. We're gonna have some delicious acorn bread. It's gonna be awesome. Me and the deer are gonna be fighting for those acorns, so. But we'll see. It's gonna be wonderful. Okay, so. It'll probably be 10, 15 years before I get an acorn off of it. You know, my luck. This tree, I will never see it to its full potential, especially not for what I know it's going to do in the future. This is a live oak. This one right here. You can immediately tell where my trees are planted because I boxed them in. That way I can identify them later. This is my live oak. It's eventually going to get really big several hundred years from now when my great-great-great-grandkids are grown. Maybe I'm predicting, because they have a very unusual pattern of growth, which is not really a pattern. It just kind of grows to the nearest light, and it senses where all this light is at. So it will eventually grow out over the creek where no other tree can reach. It'll make a nice jumping tree for jumping into the creek. I'd like to be alive to see it, but I won't be. So, off to the next tree, up a hill and through the woods a little bit. My European beech tree, also picked clean, had some nice growth. You can see these leaves here have been nibbled and chewed by animals or bugs or whatever. Apparently a very sought after tree. I got another one hiding back here. This one was doing well because it's not as quite out in the open. But these are not self-pollinating trees, so I have to have at least two. Here's another European beech. Maybe not getting enough light to really do what it needs to. But you can see it's got some leaves here that are waiting to come in. So assuming the deer and the rabbits, conejo, will leave them alone, maybe we can get some leaves on this bad boy and it'll start growing. So, yeah, and this is the back of my property, back of my acreage. And now the four-wheeler trail is not the more scenic route. We've got a more scenic route, which is the hiking trail. But for the need for speed to get back here for this video's sake, we did it the other way. We went the four-wheeler trail. One day maybe we'll get around to taking you down the hiking trail. So, again, my favorite part of the property. Oh yeah, my other campsite's up here. By the way, I did not chop these trails through here. It's just kind of naturally thin. I really like it. Forest has just got a large canopy up there. Kind of blocks out everything, so there's not a lot of young growth down here. The little bitty trees that come up are, well, they just stay little bitty until animals show up and munch them away. Here's my other campsite, kind of been unattended for a while. Don't really use it much anymore. But again, here's the view of the creek from up on top of the hill here. Here's a level view. And then this is actually looking down the hill. Creek's down there. That white that's all beach over there. So, anyway, there's the property tour. Number 3 or 4. I don't know. I'll label it appropriately whenever I post it. So, thank you very much. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for taking my tour. Say hi, children.
Hi.
Hello. And y'all have a nice, sweet day.